Hi, this is Samantha Harding, and this is my video essay. So my main topic is on sexual violence and bystander intervention. It's mostly narrowed down to consent and discourses surrounding consent. I hope that this performance would be able to spark a discussion around bystander intervention, about consent, while actively engaging audience members in the intervention. And additionally, I'm hoping that ideally the performance can inspire women and survivors to come together to support each other in the moment and stand in solidarity with each other. So I would be using Invisible Theater, and in the video, Global Invisible Theater that was listed for the videos for today, we talk about invisible theater as a way to theoretically challenge hegemonic thinking and oppressive systems. This is what I hope to do while also bringing in bystanders to have genuine, authentic, and compassionate moments between women and survivors. So in the article by Barbara Dennis about the theater of the oppressed, she was talking about actively thinking about what is happening rather than passively experiencing it, and that's what I would hope for the people who would be around while this was happening. So I'm in Hess Village. You can see the sign right here. So Hess Village is a collection of bars and clubs located in downtown Hamilton. And I chose this place because there's many instances of sexual violence that have occurred here, including a case where a woman was sexually assaulted at her work. The bar she worked at wouldn't get extra security for Friday and Saturday nights, even after this happened. So it's pretty well known as a place in Hamilton where sexual violence can occur and does occur because there's lots of parties and stuff. So I would do the performance around 11 p.m. on a Saturday night, maybe a little bit earlier, when the bars are starting to get busy. And the intended audience is young people going out to, have a good time. And it's intended for both men and women. And hopefully I want them to start thinking about consent, having conversations with their friends that night about consent after watching the Invisible Theater performance. So the actors, I would be the facilitator, and the actors would be me and my friends Chelsea, Catherine, and Siobhan. So in the article by Rich about the Interact model, the writer stressed about how important it was for the actors to be aware and informed and passionate about the issue that's being addressed in the Invisible Theater, and that's why I would choose these people, because they, all the women I chose, are advocates for ending sexual violence and volunteer with me at events in the community with the Sexual Assault Center. So briefly, the theater would go that Chelsea and Catherine would be having a cigarette outside one of the popular clubs in Hess, while Chelsea would tell Catherine that a man inside was flirting with her, but she wasn't interested, so she politely walked away. He found her on the dance floor and started touching her, is what she would say to her outside. Chelsea managed to get away from the man, but feels bad because she thinks that she let him on, and that's why she was groped. And so then Catherine now tells her that that's not the case, that guy's a jerk, that was not consent, etc., etc. And Chelsea says that she didn't explicitly say no, but then Catherine reminded her that she didn't explicitly say yes, and just because you didn't explicitly say no doesn't mean that that was consent. And then Siobhan and I, who are seemingly strangers, also having a cigarette, over here and come over to agree with Catherine and support Chelsea. I'm hoping that now the audience, women from the audience, would now come and support Chelsea. That's what my hope would be. The possible challenges is that since I chose a Saturday night, because there's the most people there, people are also inebriated and drunk, and so they could be unpredictable. And so all the women, and this is the other challenge, is that all the women I chose are white women, and so kind of getting the gist of how this invisible theater would work out. It's not completely entirely accurate because it would be different if there was like any marginalized women, trans women. I assume that the bystanders would react differently, so it's not a completely accurate representation of what I'm kind of looking for in this intersectional feminist discourse. And I'm also afraid of like possible re-traumatization of survivors, but I've been trained as a peer support counselor and a counselor at Sasha, the Sexual Assault Center in Hamilton. So I'm hoping that I could kind of like interject then and maybe do some support crisis counseling if anyone was triggered. So in social transformation, I'm hoping to dismantle the bystander effect of people being complacent with sexual violence and rape culture. So in the reading, Theater of the Oppressed and Environmental Justice Communities, the writers write about spectators. And I'm hoping that this concept spectators, and I'm hoping that this concept can encourage bystander intervention. I'm hoping that the audience will have productive conversations with their friends that night about consent, and I'm hoping that this inspires sexual violence survivors to come together and support each other. So it's a little bit different than the Interact model in the Rich article, also about rape culture, that focuses on and tries to end toxic masculinity. This is more for women to see how detrimental guilt and self-blame are, and I want to encourage the deconstruction of these discourses. Okay, thanks. That was a little long. Thanks.